All right, everybody, it's that time again for the Political Pulpit. I'm your host, Josh Navarrete. Today is an emergency broadcast. It's a late one, but it was we were getting our Saturday underway or wrapping up our Saturday. News came in that President Trump has pulled the trigger and has bombed Iran with the Moab, it looks like 5 of them from a B-2 bomber. So let's get into some of that now that happened, or that's coming in through the news wire. I want to show a few videos if you haven't seen them already. One of them is the statement from the president. Let's get into that in just a little bit. But if you're watching this video, make sure you like and share. Tell your friends about it. Break us through the algorithm. This is our Night Owl broadcast. We're going to be on for just a little while as you guys get ready for your Saturday night close out and you get ready for Sunday morning. And hopefully you're making your way out to your churches tomorrow. You can share us, like us, hit that notification bell, and make sure your friends and family know about it. So that just coming in a few hours ago that President Donald Trump has pulled the trigger. Excuse me. It's late. And we have bombed, the U.S. has officially bombed, I think it's called Fordow. It's the Iran's nuclear site that was deep underground. But these bombs have penetrated. What does that mean for America? What does that mean for what's going on in this nation? And what does that mean in prophecy? Well, we are going to continue to share that with you and ask God for what it is, and also pull in some of the information that we do get from our friends at Only Source, End Time, and of course, what the Bible all says about what's happening today. So if you are in the comment section, let us know where you're watching from, share us with your friends, but let's go ahead and get into it. As you guys can see, the president has now addressed the White House, or the nation already from the White House. So let's take a look at that really quick. Right. Sorry, guys. I'm producing this by myself, of course. But here we are.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. That's the statement from the president. So what do you guys think? Why don't you jump in the comments? Let us know how you're feeling about this. There was talks about a major divide in the MAGA movement. A lot of people did not want the U.S. to get involved into another war. Does this mean war? Does this mean that we are going to see war coming up? What does this mean from the end time? Thank you for listening, Pastor Jason, good friend of ours. Let us know what you think in the comments. We are watching very closely. This is going to divide. I think it's going to be a major conflict in many different areas as far as who's supporting the president, who's not, who's supporting the war, who's not. Does this mean that we move forward into war? Does this mean that we're going to find ourselves in another long, drawn out, expensive war? I absolutely pray that doesn't happen. What we do know is that they cannot, a country or a nation, a group of people that are saying death to America, even from leadership after a parliament, as they call it, and they're marching and singing and chanting death to America. And then there's proof, or I would say evidence, that they are trying to kill or a call to kill our leadership, including the president of the United States. It sounded for a while that the president was campaigning on no new wars, but did he go back on his promises? Did he go back on getting ourselves involved in another Middle East war? I feel like this is going to be very problematic next week when it comes to legacy media, when it comes to others that either support or don't support this administration. It's going to cause a larger divide. Let's take a look at what President the Prime Minister Netanyahu was saying. We have his statement. We'll take a look while you guys think about that, pray on it, and let us know what you're seeing or what you're thinking. I'm going to go ahead and play that now. Take a look. Oh, this is in... Well, I can't play this one because we're not going to understand it. So excuse me real quick while I find the right one. But it's it drives me to that next point. What does this mean? What does it mean from Israel, our relationships with Israel, our relationships with other nations? What about those that are allies with nations like Iran?
In Operation Rise.
Okay, we have it right here. Let's take a look.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
All right, let's take a look at what they're saying around the world in different news outlets. I have some of these clips to show you guys. Take a look at this.
In his speech, in his address to the nation, and as I said, indeed to the world, he was making it clear that the United States and Israel, the current government in Israel, the Trump administration, they are both on the same page. He was praising what Israel has been doing and promising to work closely together with Israel down the road. I thought that was significant. What was your reaction?
It's very clear from President Trump's remarks tonight that this was lockstep, the United States working with Israel. We know that Israel was given a heads up before these strikes occurred tonight on Iran's nuclear sites, those 3 nuclear sites inside Iran. We know that after these strikes occurred, according to senior administration officials, President Trump spoke on the phone with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And we should note that it is a drastic shift in terms of the response that we saw from the administration following.
All right. So anyway, I want to go on to some of the comments that I've seen around Twitter, at least, or X, is that Benjamin Netanyahu, I always have a hard time with his last name, has been quoted for decades now saying that Iran is super close to a nuclear weapon. As a matter of fact, he's been quoted several times saying they could have a nuclear weapon within weeks. And this was in the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s. And now here we are in 2025. And finally, there has been destruction of their nuclear sites. Okay, so what does that mean to you guys? Is this another situation like Iraq where they have supposed weapons of mass destruction? They go into Iraq and they weren't even there. Could we have attacked a nation and it wasn't justified? I believe that intel came in and we knew, or that nation knew, there's other people, saying that this was the case, that they had a nuclear weapon. By having a nuclear weapon, does that mean they can reach the country or reach our country? It's gone on to, they've gone on to say they can easily reach San Francisco, I guess. We'll take a look at some of these things here. There's a post earlier today from Raw's Alert. Let's go to that really quick. Let me know if you guys can see that. Oh, it's a blank screen. Here we go. It says, Iran's supreme leader has issued a serious warning declaring that America should expect greater. There we go. Sorry, guys. Doing this by myself. Iran's supreme leader has issued a serious warning declaring that Americans should expect greater damage and heavier blows. That came in, let's see, about 7:40 p.m. So did they issue that? And then we dropped the bombs. I don't know the timing on this, but it seemed like Iran had a lot of stuff to say, but hasn't done anything about it except shoot ballistic missiles or their missiles across into Israel. And it's been a barrage of missiles. And it heated up to the point where they said, okay, we're going to go ahead and take care of this regime. Now, my question to you is, there's been talks about a regime change and that the U.S. shouldn't get involved with this regime change. Tell me what you guys think about that. Why should there not be, or why should there be? In my eyes, when a country or nation continually threatens this country, America, or any president for that matter, saying death to America and we are going to kill your president, to me, that's a threat. When a nation as large as Iran and with its allies are threatening that and being open and putting that in the public, doesn't that mean we have the right to defend ourselves? And if you're not following the agreements, the nuclear agreements we've already had in place, you're already violating those things. And maybe we do have a right. Maybe we do have a right to destroy the nuclear facilities that you've built without going through all the agreements and all the things. By the way, they got billions of dollars in cash on pallets to continue to build these things. And it's been known that they're funding terrorists who attack Americans, who attack our allies, who destroy people's lives. And God knows if we have sleeper cells in this country. Is this right? Should this be happening? I am going to go ahead and show this because I've had an opportunity to be in these rooms, and it's this. Are you praying for your president? If you are praying for President Donald Trump and our troops' safety, reply amen. Why don't you guys put amen in the comments? Because I'll tell you what, our nation needs prayer. Our nation needs the people of God to unite. And I know there's issues right now. I know there's things that people don't like that are happening, but you have people in the fight on both sides. You have people in the fight, such as myself, such as our partners, other pastors, other people that are praying and believing that God is going to guide this nation. And, those are just things that we're going to continue to pray for. This is a little bit of a funny one. Because y'all know that Candace Owens, or maybe you do not know, but she has kind of gone rogue and is completely going berserk, probably tossing and turning when it comes to United States bombing Iran. She's absolutely not happy. A lot of her shows recently have been on, that the U.S. should not be supporting Israel. The U.S. should not be supporting the government of Israel. And there's this whole Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz interview where Ted Cruz may or may not have got in this gotcha moment, or I would say blindsided by Tucker Carlson, because he looks like Tucker doesn't support Israel or doesn't see it as a Christian, that Christians that support the people of Israel. And I think it's getting mixed up too, because there's a lot of conversations about the government of Israel. That's a whole other story. I mean, most governments aren't as upright as we would all hope they would be. Politics is a dirty game. It's not a nice place to play. And because of that, you have corruption. And that's in a lot, if not every nation. So we want to continue to keep you guys updated, keep you guys in the loop, but send us what you have. Let's see what Hannity is saying. There was a interview there. I guess he actually spoke to the president. Let's take a look at that really quick.
I completely agree. Peace through strength is what President Trump has been talking about from day one. I can tell you every one of our allies in that region is extremely thankful, and those that aren't our allies in that region are extremely thankful. All of our enemies around the world are extremely fearful right now. I think you pointed out earlier, North Korea is, let me tell you, the back of the hair just stood up on their neck. You have China that's paying attention. You have Putin that's paying attention. They understand that we can deliver when we need to, and we can destroy things and targets that threaten the United States. Now, keep in mind that this regime since 1979 has killed over 1,000 American either civilians or service members. And just since 2023, I mean, in 2023 and 2024, they attacked us multiple times underneath Biden because Biden was considered weak. All because of the Afghan with disastrous withdrawal, and they continued to attack us. President Trump had to reset, and once we got eyes on the program, and what I mean by eyes on the program, underneath the Biden administration, they were not giving us direct information. Even in March, when they were doing the handoff, we were not getting direct information of what was actually going on in Iran. Keep in mind, the Biden administration was trying to appease them. They were trying to say, hey, nothing to look at, while they gave them billions of dollars from the taxpayers of the United States. And what President Trump did is he made this a priority because 10 years ago, when he came down the escalators in New York, he said that there was no way Iran could ever have a nuclear weapon. And he has made that a priority in this administration. Once we got eyes on and saw how big of a threat Iran actually was, it became a point of urgency. And President Trump just put the exclamation on it and said, "You're done bullying us and chanting death to America."
Great point. I absolutely agree. I think that it's time that we had to deal with it. I don't know that everybody's going to like it. I don't think it's for everybody to like. I don't think it's something that everyone's going to be all in agreement on. For some reason, the left really likes to take a hard stance no matter what against President Donald Trump. And I think that's just the game of politics, and it's unfortunate. I think, honestly, the point is that they cannot have a nuclear weapon, especially when they're chanting death to America. And what happened is we found out they were very, very close, probably closer than ever. Could this act of violence like 5 Moab bombs or whatever it was, something crazy. They thought it was going to take like 1 or 2 or 3. It ended up being like more than 5, I think, 5 plus to get this to penetrate the ground the way they did, or maybe it was just to seal the deal to make sure they could never. But right here it says, any retaliation by Iran against the United States of America will be met with force far greater than what was witnessed tonight. Thank you, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. That's because there's still messages and reports coming that they will retaliate. Now, they kept saying that there was going to be something greater than we've ever seen before. We showed you all videos that they were continually posting and saying they're going to attack and take care of the United States. They never did. It sounds like all talk. Take a look at this clip here.
The U.S. had the technology to carry out what is probably a long-term impact on Iran's nuclear program. So I was surprised he ordered the attack, but I think it was in many ways a bold and good move. The U.S. had the technology to carry out what is...
So what do you guys think? Do you think it was a bold and good move? That's probably that's a big statement right there. Not a lot of people are going to think it's a bold or a great move. There's not going to be a lot of people that are going to be, there's a lot of news coming in next week. So we're going to try to go live every day next week to make sure that we're covering it all. But, you know, in the form of in the talks of war, this could make war heat up. We got other nations that are allies with Iran that are not happy right now. Tell us what you guys think.
Leadership looks like. That's what a commander-in-chief looks like. We haven't seen that for 4 years during the Biden administration. Thank God he is here. Thank God he is back to take care of something like this. I will tell you, Sean, I am on the Armed Services Committee. I'm on the Foreign Affairs Committee. I'm on the Intelligence Committee. I get briefs about this on a frequent basis. I've been in and out of the White House in the sit room for the last week. I can tell you that President Trump digested every single piece of information he had, and he made the best decision that's possible. He made the right decision for this country, the decision that's important for our national security. You mentioned, the president mentioned, the blood on the hands of this regime. I can tell you firsthand, Sean, I was a combat physician with the United States Marine Corps in Iraq, and you talk about these U.S. Marines and these soldiers that came in with their arms and legs blown off. I was on the triage pad where the helicopters and the tactical vehicles dropped them off when they had their bowels hanging out, their arms and legs off, and they had third-degree burns from their heads to their toes. I saw many of them die, Sean, and it was all because of Soleimani, who thank God is dead right now, and with the blessing of the Ayatollah, who I pray is dead in the very near future. President Trump did what needed to be done. This is something that I am very proud of. I'm proud of our president. I'm proud of our country tonight, Sean. And this was absolutely, positively the right answer, not just for the United States, but for Europe, for all of the Middle East, all of the neighbors, the Iranian neighbors in the area, for everybody in the area. This was for Israel, of course. This was the absolute right call. This is going to make everyone safer tonight. And I think there will be consequences, Sean. I think things will come from this. I think that they will take what little they have left and they will try to target our bases overseas and our U.S. troops. I think you're absolutely right. Our border's been wide open for 4 years. We have Shia terrorists. We have jihadis that are in here in large numbers. Thank you, Joe Biden, for the open border for 4 years. Those people are going to rise up. But look, Sean, this was going to happen either way. The president did the right thing, and he's made us all safer tonight. Thank you, President Trump.
There you have it. All right, so let's take a look at what happened today. I'm going to show this clip here. You guys probably have already seen it many times, but I want you to see what this looks like. Massive. Who would have thought we were going to see something like this in our lifetime? Massive explosion. Look at that. Look at that plume. Let's get you guys a better look. Unbelievable. It's like, who would have thought we would have saw, like I said, something like this in our lifetime? I wonder what the massive effects are going to be. I mean, you can imagine. I mean, this is probably something that's going to affect the local area, the land. What about the radiation, dust, rain, the air, the wind? Is this going to affect people? This is probably something that a lot of health experts and of course political jargon is going to come out and conversations on this stuff. So this is a pretty big deal, pretty massive. thing that's going on. Let's take a look at more what's happening online really quick.
In this, the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator is a powerful bunker buster bomb, which is in the possession of United States only at this point in time. They have the capability to really go this much deep underground to take on
This is
that.
this is
these
the bunker
powerful
buster that they
buster
dropped.
bombs developed by United States Air Force, and this appears to be the answer for Iran's base of Fordow. It weighs approximately 30,000 pounds and designed to destroy heavily fortified underground facilities.
Okay, so 30,000 pounds, and that bad boy, there was like 5 of them. I want to show you guys my dashboard really quick so you guys can see what I'm dealing with here. Real quick here. All right. Well, it's not playing, but so anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But for the most part, this is what's happened today. This is a big deal. As you know, the United States has bombed Iran's nuclear facility. I think it's called Fordow. There's some crazy post that just happened, or that's the DC. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick. But apparently, they're wanting the president to rebuild it. I think that's absolutely crazy. Let's see. It says breaking news. Oh yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this nonsense, you guys. Benny Johnson, he's got a post here. I don't know how true that is, but let's just take, there it is. A Democrat judge. It's got to be, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Democrat district judge in DC has just ruled that Trump must rebuild Fordow nuclear facility in Iran. What? That's insane. What would be the point? And so anyways, there's the president there. You guys can see he's in the war room. All right, let's continue to pray for our nation, guys. Let's get to making sure that our country is safe. We don't want any attacks in our nation. You guys think this means attacks coming? Do you think this means further war? I don't know. In the end time, there will be wars and rumors of wars. Let's continue to pray and believe God. Believe God for his will, regardless of what political stand or stance you have, what party. We don't have an alliance to a party or an allegiance to a party. We have an allegiance to Christ and the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's where we're going to stand. That's where we stand. All the major issues, I promise you've got people like us that are fighting for righteousness and at least for the nation to go in the right direction. But in the meantime, we will continue to keep you updated and informed. And we want to make sure that you follow, share, and let us know where you're watching us from. We love you all. Thank you. And God bless.